Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Ananda, the Galactic Mystic, and this is Navigational Astrology. It's time to talk about our Taurus full moon lunar eclipse, the final eclipse of 2023. Let's get into it. Welcome. If you are new on this channel, I talk about astrology a lot, but I'm also a folk witch, a mystic, a metaphysician, and many other things. And I have over 3 decades of experience, practice, and dedication and study under my belt. So there's a lot to talk about here, and I'm going to do this a little differently. If you've been with me for a while, you know I like to switch things up every now and then. So instead of doing general readings for all the zodiac signs, I'm going to do a pick a pile card love note, cosmic love notes. So this can be a message to you from your spirit guides, your higher self, creator, your gods and goddesses, your ancestors, however you're rolling right now. So go ahead. I'm going to put the image up of the piles. Pick your pile. 1, 2, 3, left to right. All right. I will put this up later on again if you don't feel like choosing right now. First, I'm going to talk about the astrology just a little bit. It's pretty straightforward, actually. And then I'm going to go right into the cosmic love notes. I feel like we all could use a love note right now. You know what I'm saying? So, how has eclipse season been going for you? Is there an obvious theme, something very loud that has come up? It's not going to be a yes for everyone. I always say this, not every lunar cycle, not every eclipse cycle is huge for everyone. But if it's huge for you, you're knowing it about now. You know what your theme is, right? So this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, don't be fooled into thinking that this is the end of eclipse season with this full moon. We've got a whole other 2 weeks, okay? A lunation lasts from new moon to new moon. And, you know, we tend to like to skip ahead, don't we? We like to go ahead and get going on the new thing. And we don't always spend enough time integrating and closing things, wrapping up before we move on to the next cycle. So for the next 2 weeks, that's actually the yin part, the feminine part of this eclipse season, where we are integrating, we're releasing, we're doing the internal work, not so much of the external stimulation. You know what I mean? From new moon to full moon, everything is building. It's very yang. That's our masculine energy. And then we have the peak, and then we begin the integration, the release. And it's also important to know that the actual harvest energy of a lunation happens after the full moon. The full moon is just when the fruit is ripe. It's the next stage, the waning gibbous. That's actually the harvest. That's part of the yin cycle of the lunation. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that, but it's good to know, right? We've got another 2 weeks. We're not done yet. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the chart. Let's see what's up. I also forgot to mention that I'm going to put timestamps for the cosmic love notes so you can jump to the one you picked. Okay, so here is our full moon lunar eclipse chart. This full moon lunar eclipse is happening on October 28th, 2023 at 4:23 p.m. That's Eastern time. And here we have our moon in Taurus, 5 degrees and 9 minutes, and our sun opposition in Scorpio. So this full moon is it's a bit agitating. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It is conjunct Jupiter and opposing Mars and Mercury, who are conjunct and who are basically exactly opposing Jupiter. So let's just call this an inflammation, okay? Mars and Mercury conjunct is an inflammation of our minds and our mouths, okay? Now, inflammation can be a lot of things. It's stimulating, it's passionate, it's often impulsive, and it can hurt. It can also keep you warm on a cold night, but it can burn, right? This opposition with Jupiter is making it big. It's fanning the flames. This is really interesting because this full moon is actually very tightly conjunct a star called Fornacis. And this is the alpha star in a constellation called the Furnace. I mean, you can't make that up, right? You can't make that up. And when this constellation was discovered and named the Furnace, it was like intended to be like a, not so much like an oven, but more like a furnace where like science was happening, like chemical reactions and like experiments. And this brings to mind how eclipses are these sort of, they can be wild. It's a bit like a wild card where we can take abrupt turns to the left or right. And it's almost as if all the ingredients are put into, you know, the magical cauldron, and what comes out of it doesn't necessarily resemble what we put in. Just like bread, we put bread in the oven, it comes out not looking like flour and water. It's bread. It's this whole other thing. So with this metaphor, I'm just reminding all of us that right now, what we are looking at is not necessarily what we think it is, okay? This is very time warpy. This full moon is opposing two very powerful black holes, which gives it this kind of time warpy energy. And I will tell you, in the past like week to 10 days, no, actually more like a week, in the past 7 days, on 3 occasions, I have had some sort of news thing pop up on my phone. I don't pay a lot of attention to the news, but I do get alerts and I glance at it, and that's about all. 3 times I've gotten news alerts, headlines that certain things had happened that actually had not yet happened. On one occasion, it was something that actually happened about 8 hours later. On another occasion, something that still hasn't actually happened. And I forget, there was another one too. So it's very time warpy. Like, where even are we right now? We don't exactly know. So that's one of the features of a Jupiter opposition, is that, you know, our capacity, our ability to accurately perceive the bigness or smallness of what we're looking at is skewed. Add in this time warp ability that we're all kind of developing right now, and that it's all in a furnace and it's going to come out looking way different than the ingredients we put in. So some practical things. This is not the time to put yourself in situations that are like explosive for you. You know, this is not the time to go to come out to your family if you know that's not going to go well. This is not the time to have an inflammatory conversation that's hugely emotionally charged. It's just not. And at the same time, sometimes we are compelled to do that under this energy. So, you know, we take this deep breath. We are grateful for the knowledge that this is the energetic environment, and we make our choices wisely. You know, sometimes things are meant to get blown up in our lives. And if there's a situation that you are needing to, then you'll probably be doing that. Good luck. I hope the bread comes out the way you want it to. And you know, it just might, but not right away. It's going to take a minute. The other thing is that, you know, Venus, our ruler of this eclipse, is in Virgo, and she's widely opposing Neptune. She's going to, oh my God, do you hear those dogs? So Venus in Virgo brings to our awareness what needs to change. I mean, she can see what is and what could be at the same time. And the trick is to not abuse ourselves or other people because of that difference. The medicine is to develop a plan and actually commit to taking steps forward, steps of growth, whatever's, you know, whatever the situation is, does not have to be perfect. It only has to be baby steps. That's really the medicine for whatever the thing is that has come up. And just know that if it's inflamed right now or becomes inflamed, that inflammation is not necessarily reflecting back what it actually is. It's the fire that is causing the chemical reaction to create the thing that we will take out of the furnace. Okay. I do want to mention also that on the 29th, there is in vibrational and harmonic astrology, there is a major 7 and 14 vibration spike. So, you know, that's a lot of words. What does that mean? Basically, that is a peak of energy that causes us to, we witness something that causes us to pause and go inward and kind of figure out what this means for us. A lot of times this happens when there are world events that kind of make us go, oh, God. It can be just a personal thing where we feel this pull inward, where we are processing what is happening in our lives right now, and we're figuring out what it means. So we know the world is on fire right now. There is kind of an ominous energy with this. And I'm just going to say that the human nervous system was not meant to have nonstop 24/7 access to all the suffering in the world. It is okay, and it is actually wise, good, and right for us each to find our own balance of being aware of the world's suffering and also taking care of ourselves so that we can be an effective source of love, light, hope, and healing in the world. Okay. We can't necessarily do both 100%. All right. So no doom scrolling, especially if you are experiencing this timeline shifty, timeline warping aspect of this period of time. If you are experiencing that in a way that you're like, if you are experiencing that, it's actually very important where you're putting your energy right now. So, big self-care stuff, wisdom. It's time to put our practices into action and start walking our talk at a deeper level. Okay. Yeah. So let's do some cosmic love notes. So if you picked pile number 1, this is your love note from the other side, from your higher self, your ancestors, fill in the blank. Dear gorgeous soul, you have been quietly judging a situation, and they thought you were not paying attention. But you were. You heard every word. You saw every deed, as if you were invisible. It is good and right for you to use your judgment and to use the information that you gained in doing this. Oh, we have a second kitty. The inner strength that you have can move mountains. Do not underestimate the power of your gentle strength. Sometimes what looks like yielding isn't. And while you may think that your strength is not strong enough, you may worry that you should be doing this differently, that somehow you're missing something. You're not. We see you worrying, stressing, and we want you to know that that energy can be used to fuel your passions. If you can let those emotions and those racing thoughts tell you what they're really about, if you can get to the bottom of them, you will find a key to your treasure chest. Do not let that energy pull you into a losing battle. You don't have to join in just because it's happening around you. You can use your inner strength and your ability to watch. Okay. I'll get it here in a second. You can use your ability to watch and wait, to judge and discern, and to not spin your wheels in some nonsense that is not yours, nor is it worth your sacred energy and time. Your time and energy are currency, and you need them because you've got a lot of balls in the air. Not too many, just right, just enough, because you're agile, you're flexible, you have great balance, just like a kitty cat. You can handle what you've got going. But if you throw a third ball in there or some of this nonsense in there, you're going to drop them. So trust yourself, because we trust you. And know that where you're going is so full of rewards that you deserve. Will you let yourself have them? Will you let yourself reap your own harvest? It's pretty beautiful. Let someone feed you grapes. You're going to receive a message, and it's going to be a message that heals, a message of hope, a message that helps you recognize yourself. your purpose and what you're really doing here. We need you. Let your philosophy become one that is concerned with nurturing care and safety. For my astro folks, we're talking about your moon, we're talking about your 9th house, and we're talking about the energy of Cancer. What house is ruled by Cancer in your chart? Where's your moon? You have a natural understanding of what people need and want, and that is a gift. And you cannot give that from an empty cup. Let your care come to you first. Then you can really serve. Much love. Let me know how this cosmic love note lands for you. If you chose pile 2 for your cosmic love note, let's begin. Dear gorgeous soul, we love how good you are at turning something to your advantage, something that most people would see as a disadvantage. You see opportunity. You are so incredibly intuitive and psychic that you don't even have to use all of your abilities at once to find an answer, to find your prey, so to speak. You are walking in between worlds. Your arm reaches through the veil, and we need you as a guide for those on the other side. They need us to be their eyes and ears here, to be their arms and legs. You are a realm walker. And this is a lot to balance at once. It is a lot to be a realm walker and to be in this physical realm with awareness of it all. However, there is such a thrill in doing it all at once. And when we find that sweet spot, when you find that sweet spot, you are going to propel forward so fast. It's not a race, though. It's just for fun. You are so naturally abundant. We love how you're learning to receive more and more and more. How you are letting go of the grasping. As you open your hands to receive more, you will receive more. And you will feel more and more pleasure as your capacity to receive grows. You have chosen wisdom over bitterness when it comes to your heartbreaks. And that, my friend, is a miracle. I hope you are as proud of yourself as we are of you. You have much to teach, and people will be coming to you to learn about how you did this. You know more than anyone that justice doesn't always look like harmony. Harmony is not always justice. Harmony is not always equality. Sometimes, to balance the scales, things have to go really far, one way or the other. And you know this. You walk this path. There is no limit to the amount. I'm getting emotional. There's no limit to the amount of abundance, joy that wants to come to you. It's infinite. Know that. Know that it is good and right for you to just be lavishly, delightfully abundant. The sun wants to shine on you. The sun is aware of you. When you look up at the sun, we want you to say to yourself, I see the sun, and the sun sees me. And feel in your heart the power and depth of that knowing. There is so much coming to you. So much that I don't have the words to express. It is important that you know that you don't have to do this the way everyone else is doing it or has done it in the past. And in fact, it's best that you don't. The wealth that has your name on it is not just money. It's not just love. It is wisdom. It is experience. And we are so, so proud of you. There are many ways you could go. There are many things that you could choose. And we want you to know that it doesn't even really matter what you choose. Only that you believe everything else that we have said, and whatever you choose will be the right choice. It will take you where you want to go more than anywhere. For my astro folks, we've got the moon in Libra in the 7th house. So this is definitely about a karmic return on your relationships. It's a part of all of this. And I'm seeing an apple cart turning over. There's a lot of meaning I could glean from that, but I'm going to let you find your own meaning with that. Let me know how this landed for you. That was very powerful. If you chose pile number 3 for your cosmic love note, let's begin. Dear gorgeous soul, there is a powerful message coming to you, perhaps in the form of a visitation of some sort. Pay attention. There are powerful spirits afoot. Keep your guard up. Meet them where they are rather than inviting them to where you are, if you know what I mean. Aha moments, lightning strikes, metaphorically, expect them. Expect them. Something is coming very quickly. How do you feel about this speed? We think you're ready. This is something you've been waiting for. And as you rush toward what feels right for you, you will find yourself moving fast enough that it's easy to leave dead weight behind and to move toward calmer waters. There is something to wake up to, and as you do, we know that you will find yourself as worthy as we do, as loved as we love you, as precious as you truly are. You don't have to know every detail, every step of the way. As this wind is blowing you, it's not that hard to correct your sails if you need to. You don't have to worry so much about making a wrong turn, because divine timing is shuffling a lot of things behind the scenes for you. And as you are in this in-between state, you are receiving all of this insight. You're having all of this spiritual communication from your guides, from your ancestors, from your angels. Enjoy being in the in-between, because soon you will be called to share some of this. And in that sharing will help build something new that didn't exist before. When you are working with others, do not get wrapped up in their drama. Don't judge their drama, but just know it's not yours. You don't have to do what they're doing. And you don't have to spend your energy on petty little stuff that doesn't really matter. You can let that stuff sort its own self out. And when you lay down that burden, you realize that's not your cross to bear, to fix every little thing or to join in on things that don't feel right to you. That's when you will find your true joy. This is your reality. This is where this is leading you to. But in the in-between, you're here now. The in-between is a lot of this, a lot of something for you to see, something you don't know, so you can get here. Without this intervention, my love, you won't know when and where to make that turn. But now you will know. You need to get some extra rest. Take special care of your body, especially during this quick moving phase. Your body is becoming more sensitive to changes in your life, and it's becoming a receptor, almost like a dowsing tool, where your body can help you know which way to go. But in order for it to learn how to communicate with you in that way, it first has to become undone a little bit to crack open that sensitivity. Much love. Let me know how this cosmic love note landed for you. And I wish you all a transformative rest of your eclipse season. Come see me for a reading if you would like some guidance or some help. I will see you very soon.